Hey fellas, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to do something really exciting. We are going to build a real working circuit from scratch, write assembly code for it, simulate it in Proteus, and by the end of this video, you are going to fully understand how a microcontroller reads a switch and controls output pin. Now, I know what you are thinking. Assembly language? That sounds hard, but here is the thing. Once you understand what's happening at the low level, every other language like C, Python, Arduino, all of it becomes 10 times easier because you will actually know what the microcontroller is actually doing under the hood. So stick with me. I promise by the end you will be able to look at any AVR assembly program and understand exactly what is happening line by line. So let's get started. So first we are going to discuss that what is a microcontroller. A microcontroller is basically a tiny computer on a single chip. It has a processor, memory and input output pins all in one package, the Atmega32 that we are going to use today is made by a company called Atma, now owned by Microchip. It's part of the AVR family of microcontrollers and it's extremely popular for learning embedded system. Now here is something important. The Atmega 32 runs on what's called a RISC architecture. RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computer. This means the processor has a small, simple set of instructions, but each instruction executes in just one clock cycle. That makes it incredibly fast and efficient. The Atmega 32 has 32 general purpose registers named R0 to R31. 32 input-output pins organized into 4 ports. Port A, Port B, Port C, and Port D. 32 kilobytes of flash memory for your program. 2 kilobytes of SRAM for variables. And it runs at up to 16 MHz. Now look at your circuit on screen. You can see the Atmega 32 chip is in the center on the left side you have port A and port B pins, and on the right side you have port C and port D. Each of these ports has 8 pins, giving you 8 bits of input or output on each port. This is the chip we are programming today. Every instruction we write goes directly into its flash memory and executes one by one. So, okay, this is the most important concept in this video, so pay close attention. Every port on the Atmega 32 has 3 registers associated with it. Let me explain each one. First, the DDR register. DDR stands for Data Direction Register. This register control whether each pin in an input or an output. Think it like a traffic signal for each line. If you write a 1 to a bit in DDR, the pin becomes uh, the pin becomes an output. The microcontroller can now send signal out through the pin. If you write 0 to a bit in DDR, the pin become an input. The microcontroller can now read signal coming into that pin from outside. So for port D, the register is called DDR-D. For port B, it is called DDR-B. Simple naming conventions. Second, the port registers. This is the output register when a pin configured as output, writing to port control whether the pin goes high 5 watt or low 0 watt. But there is something interesting when a pin is configured as input. Writing a 1 to port enables the internal pull-up resistor to that pin. We will talk about pull-up resistor in a second. Third, the pin registers. This is the pin register. When a pin is configured as input, you read from the pin register to find out the current state of that pin. Is it high or low? So to summarize, ADR is direction, input or output. Port is output data or pull-up enables. Pin is read input data. This three register system is used on every single port of every AVR microcontroller. Once you understand this, you understand the foundation of embedded program. Now, let's talk about something that confuses a lot of beginners, pull-up resistors. Look at our circuit. The switch is connected between PB2 and ground. There is also a 10 resistor connected between PB2 and VCC. That's 5 watt. Now when the switch is on, no connection to ground. The 10K resistor pulls the PB2 pin up to 5 watt. So the microcontroller reads a high, a logic 1 on PB2. When the switch is closed, it connects PB2 directly to ground. Now the pin is pulled down to 0 watts. The microcontroller reads a low, a logic 0. This is called an active low switch configuration. The switch gives you a 0 when pressed and a 1 when not pressed. This is actually the most common way to connect switches in electronics. But why do we need the resistor at all? Why not just connect the switch directly? This is a great question. If you connect a switch directly between a pin and ground with nothing else, when the switch is open, the pin is literally floating in midair. It is connected to anything. A floating pin can randomly read as 0 or 1 due to electrical noise. Your program would behave completely unpredictable. The pull-up resistor fixes this by always giving the pin a defined voltage. When the switch is open, problem solved. When the ATmega32 actually has internal pull-up resistor built in, so in some cases you don't even need an external one. But for reliability and learning purpose, we are not using an external 10K resistor here. Section 4 Assembly language. But we can use a 10K resistor externally, but I haven't used it in my circuit. Alright, now let's talk about the language we are writing in. AVR assembly. Assembly is the lowest level programming language you can write. Every instruction maps directly to one machine code operation that the processor executes. There is nothing between your code and the hardware. So this is different from C or Python where one line of your code might turn into dozens of machine instructions. In assembly, what you write is what gets executed one to one. Let's go through a key instruction we are using today. LDI, load immediate. This loads a number directly into the register LDI R16 0xFF mean put the value 255 into the register 16. 0xFF is a hexadecimal for 255, which is in binary is 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. All 8 bits sets to 1. So out is the output to input output register. This writes the value from a register to an input output port. Out DDRD R16 mean write whatever is in R16 into the DDRD register. Since R16 contains 0xFF, all 8 bits of port D are now set as output. CBI stands for clear bit in input output register. This clear a specific bit to 0. CBI DDRB2 means clear bit 2 of DDRB to 0. This means PB2 and input pin only bit 2 is affected. The rest of port B stays unchanged. SBIS skip if bit in input output register is set. This is a conditional skip instruction. SBIS pin B 2 means check bit 2 for pin B. If it's 1, skip to the next instruction. If it is 0, execute the next instruction. This is how we check the switch status. RJMP relative jump. This jump to a label in your code RJMP again means go back to the label called again and execute from there. This creates a loop in your program. These 5 instructions are the building block of our entire program today. So, okay, now let's look at the actual code and walk through every single line. Dot include m32def.inc. This line include a definition file that contain all the registered name for the Atmega32. Without this, we don't have to use raw memory address instead of names like DDRB and port D. This file is provided by Atmel and makes our code readable. CBI DDRB2 clear bit 2 of DDRB. This makes PB2 an input pin. Our switch is connected here, so we need to read it. LDI R16 0xFF out DDRD R16 load 0xFF, which is uh, in binary, which is 8 ones in binary into R16, then write it into DDRD. This sets all 8 pins of port D as output. Our 8 LEDs are connected to the port D, so they all need to be outputs. Again, SPIS pin B2. This is our main loop. Label SBIS checks bit 2 of pin B. That's our switch pin. If the switch is high, meaning not pressed, skip the next line. If the switch is low, meaning pressed, executes the next line. RGMP over. This is the switch. If the switch is low, we jump to the over label. We skip the Y output section. LDI R16Y output DR16 RJMP again. If we did not jump, the switch is high. So we load the ASCII value of Y into R16 and send it to port D. Then we jump back to again to keep checking. The ASCII value of Y is 0x59, which is 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 in binary. So 4 of our 8 LEDs will light up in the program. Our LDI R16 and output R16 RGMP again. Here we load the ASCII value of N, which is 0x4E 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 0, and send it to port D. Different LED light up, then jump back to the again. The program runs this loop forever, thousands of times per second, constantly checking the switch and updating the LEDs. This is called pooling, continuously checking a pin status in a loop. Now let's see this working in Proteus. Proteus is a professional circuit simulation software developed by Lab Center Electronics. It allows you to simulate microcontroller circuit without any physical hardware. This is incredibly powerful for learning and testing because you can see exactly what your circuit does before building it. In our simulation, you can see the Atmega 32 in the center. On the left, we have our switch connected to PB2 with uh, connected to the VCC. On the right side, we have 8 yellow LEDs connected to the port D, pins PD0 to PD7. To run this simulation, we compiled our assembly code using AVR Studio or Atmel Studio into a hex file. Then we double click the Atmega 32 in the Proteus, browse to our hex file, set the clock frequency, and click OK. When we press the play button on the simulation start, when the switch open PB2 is high, the program send ASCII Y to port D. Y is 0x59, which is 0 1 0 1 1 0 1. If LED of PD0, PD3, PD4, and PD6 light up, the other four stay off. Now, when we click the switch to close it, the PB2 goes low. The program send ASCII to N to port D. N is 0x4E, binary 0 100 111 Different LEDs light up PD1, PD2, PD3, and PD6. This is exactly what our code says. The microcontroller is reading the switch 16 million times per second and instantly updating the LEDs. That's the power of embedded programming. So let's recap everything that we have covered today. We learned what a microcontroller is, how the ATmega32 is structured. We understand we understand ports like DDR port and pin registers, and three register system that control every pin on an AVR chip. We learned about pull-up resistors and why floating pins are dangerous. We went through five core assembly instructions: LDI, out, CBI, CBIS, and RJMP. We walked through every single line of our program and understand exactly what it does. And we saw the whole thing working live in Proteus simulation. This is the foundation of embedded system programming. Everything else, timers, interrupts, UART communication, SPI I2C, all of it builds on top of exactly what you learned today. If this video helped you, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you want more AVR and embedded system content. And drop a comment below telling me what you want to see next. Maybe we do timers, maybe we do UART serial communication, or maybe we build a full calculator. You tell me. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.